You ever try to sleep something off just because you just want to wait for the next days to feel better? For most of my life, I thought if I would just sleep it off, if I would just ignore my problem long enough, they'll go away. And for the longest time, whenever I run into a problem that I don't think I could handle, I would always wish for the days to end. I would always wish for the next day. Sleeping it off just to not feel that feeling that I've been avoiding. And eventually, my life was a freaking wreck. And it feels like it's the only thing you could do at the time, and it feels like the right thing because that's how you know how to keep yourself sane. That's how you know not to lash us out. That's how you know how to calm your anxiety down, even if it's temporary. For a long time, I just knows how to do the temporary things. I just look for the next things and the next things to a point where eventually none of my problems are solved. And before I realized it, I was stuck in life. I didn't move forward with my life outside to the external. Yeah, I got a raise. Yeah, I grew older. But my mental health were going down years by years. And this shone through my physical health as well. I got so fat that I've gained over 60 pounds. Shit happens. For example, like breakup, something bad happens, like, you have a fight with your parents and maybe you said something that you shouldn't have said. Maybe that girl treats you a certain way. Maybe your girlfriend said something that gives you full of anxiety and you don't know what's coming next. Maybe whether it was your job or your friends or whatever the fuck, career-wise. Everything I do, I always tend to think ahead, I always tend to wanting to know the full picture before I act. I could never act with uncertainty. And what do I mean by this? Is like, I have this crazy control system in my brain saying that, oh, I can't be okay unless I know this has happened. Oh, I can't start this unless I know what steps to take. And not only that, I want it to be perfect. Not only that, I wanted to know the tricks, the hacks, the best way to get there. And only the best shall I start that thing. And when it comes to relationship, I'm like, I need to know if you're like this with me, if you're like this with me. Then I can just not think about it after, right? So for a long time, whether it is relationship-wise, career-wise, health-wise, I always tend to not being able to live in the moment. And what do I mean by that? It's like, whenever I have a problem, I start freaking out. Whenever I don't know what's coming next, whenever I feel there's an uncertainty and I can't control things, I tend to just wait until the day's end so I can just wait until I know about it tomorrow. And this fucks me up in so many ways. My ambitions, I never gotten to accomplish it. My goals, I kept putting it off. And eventually, I just broke all promises to myself. Eventually, I just looked for the quick highs in my life. I tired out my partner. I tired out myself. And I just became a stagnant of a person, right? This idea where you just want to sleep everything off and wait for a better days, wait for a better future the next time, it's never going to work. Because I tried to do this so many times. I try to sleep my problems off. I try to binge watch TV shows. I try to binge watch adult content. Whatever to escape, whatever to not feel that shit that I've been pushing down. I noticed that the fear just kept growing and I couldn't trust in myself. I felt lost. I felt alone. I felt like all I could do all day is think. I felt like I'm in my head and I couldn't enjoy life, bro. I wish I were able to do something that I would feel every single day. I wish that good things will happen to me just because I wait it out. But it never does. All it does is just temporary highs, and whenever I get a quick release, whenever I know the situation, back in my mind, I always look for the next thing. It's almost as if I always look for the next thing to have anxiety about. It's almost as if I look for the next thing to feel anxious about, right? And this pattern of repeats, it never really stops. This pattern of control, this pattern of perfection, this pattern of avoiding my problem, it keeps growing and growing and growing. And eventually, I hated everything and I didn't want to do anything around me, and I just become borderline depressed. So if you feel like me, I hope you get something out of this. I hope that you know that the more you're worried about something, the worse it's going to get. I hope that without taking actions on fixing it, even just by the little steps, even just finding the amusement things in the things that you're struggling with, and you just try to sleep it off, it is not going to work. A better day is not going to come. But the only thing that I found that really helps is doing the hard shit every day. For a long time, I don't know how to show up for myself every day. And I fall short on everything I do. I quit everything I do. And I stay stagnant as a person. So what I found that really works is just taking the slow steps. Realize that nothing's perfect in this world, and realize that nobody's going to come to save you. And I found that just sitting with your overthinking mind, sitting with your anxiety, confronting it, and not going to bed with a hollow heart is the way to go. Just realize the more we run from our problem, the bigger the problem is going to be. And this is all I want to say for today. Hope to see you on the next time, and peace out.